So with the offensive struggles over the past 3 games, you said that you thought your team might be fairly close. They just have to go just a little bit extra, a little bit above and beyond where they have been. Did you see that today?
We did, but we've been doing it all week. I think, every game we're getting a little closer, a little bit closer. And I told them, I was like, guys, everyone's capable, but how many of you guys are willing to make that extra run, willing to, get the details right and do that final detail? It's the difference of winning and losing games. So I think today we did a good job possessing the ball, creating chances, and I'm glad we got the result and got the 3 goals and won the game. A little scary late, but I'll take it.
Well, you talk about late. So you're staked to a 2-goal lead with about 15 minutes left. That's one where you have to close it out. You did, but there was some nervous moments, I'm sure. What do you want to see better, I guess, defensively to close out games in the future?
Yeah, and we talked about it. It's also something new. We haven't been in the lead with that much time. And then we haven't, hey, how do you close out the game? Do you play big? Do you waste a little time as we go? I think talking about it, it's not something you necessarily have to train, but you just have to recognize that, hey, imagine if we did this instead of letting them hang around, playing balls back into us. A little bit of game management piece. I think we can, follow up on the talking instead of on the field. But, again, we got the result, so I'm proud of them.
It was 1-1 at the half, and then for, I would say, about 10 minutes of the second half, it was Edinboro who had the better of the play. What changed from that point forward that allowed your team to kind of slant the pitch in your favor and then get those 2 goals?
Yeah, so and that's how soccer works. I mean, there's times where you're in control, and then there's waves and laps where it kind of gets away from you. But again, I think our depth today, the players that got in, even the players that were on the bench, I think it was a big team win where the players that came in, they contributed. They even raised the level at times. And I told them before the game, I was like, doesn't matter if you start or not. When you're out there, empty your tank. We'll get the next teammate on, and they're ready to go. So I think that's what we saw today, and it was good.
Talking to Riley Butler, first-year head coach, I don't think many people expected that he'd be playing October games with temperatures in the mid-80s. It feels more like a game to start the season, maybe at the very end of August. Does that change how you, and in particular the players, have to approach things?
Yeah, I mean, you got to hydrate. You got to take care of your bodies. And I told them, I was like, let the ball do the work. And that's what we try to do most games. But, again, we do have some depth where we can bring players on so our level doesn't drop. I don't think we've had the same starting lineup the whole year, so it's good to be able to have options and players that are capable and come in and impact the game regardless if you start or not. So the weather's part of the game.
I know that your coaching background has taken you across different destinations in Pennsylvania, but this is the first time coaching here in the PSAC.
Yep.
So halfway through now, you've seen all of the PSAC West opponents once. How do you evaluate the landscape and where your team stands?
It's good. I think the PSAC is competitive from top to bottom. I think we were close. Came in July. We started August 14th. So some of the things, if I would have came in the spring and doing the things that we're doing now, you might see earlier. But I think we've gotten better each and every game, and then hopefully we're starting to see results. But I like it. I mean, you're in the PSAC where you're in Pennsylvania, and all your games are in-state. You don't have these long bus rides, and it's competitive soccer, and it's a place where you can recruit and be competitive, and it's a good environment.
Well, Riley, thanks for doing this. The first post-game interview that you've had with us, hopefully not the last.
I hope not.
All right. Well, thanks so much for taking the time. Absolutely.